It's a bit of a jinx, this waterfall, because something always goes wrong. So we are now at sunrise, and it was always going to be a risk, this one, and in this case it's a risk that's not paid off. Around 15-20 minutes after leaving the hotel, the heavens opened and it absolutely threw it down. It's eased off a little bit now, but there's certainly no chance of any light this morning. But I might get a moody shot from this location. Let me just nip out and show you where I am. It's very drizzly at the moment, and if I'm going to get a shot across Thirlmere, I'm going to be getting a very wet lens because the wind's coming straight at me here, and as you'll be able to see by these mini waves on the water. But I think I'm going to get my camera set up in a short while and try for a very quick shot, but it's going to be a very quick one because I really don't want to get my camera gear drenched at the beginning of the day. But it's a beautiful scene here regardless of the conditions, especially the nice sound of the waves coming in across Thirlmere here, the beautiful cloud just going over the top of the mountains there. And regardless of the weather, it's a great place to be nonetheless. If you're interested in trying this location for yourself for a sunrise, and maybe you'll get better luck than me, this is Armbeth car park next to Thirlmere. Now I noticed with Google Maps it wouldn't navigate me here. It got me to the main road over there on the other side of Thirlmere and suggested that I swam across the water to this spot. I think it's confused because the road that's behind me here, you might have to see down here, is closed due to a number of landslips, and you have to go to the north towards Keswick and double back down to get to this car park. But when conditions are right, this is a great location to get some sunrise from. You can see behind me here some really nice cascading water coming down the side of the mountains here. So moving on from Thirlmere for my second drenching of the day, I've just driven through Keswick and have come into Borrowdale, and I'm just down the road from the very iconic location of Ashness Bridge, and I think the jet is just down the road behind me here. What I've come to photograph here is a waterfall that's further downstream from Ashness Bridge. It's not marked on the map and it's not one I've visited before, so fingers crossed I can find this. So after a little bit of wandering around, I think I've found the location of this elusive waterfall. It's a bit of a tricky spot. It's behind a hostel known as the Derwentwater Hostel, and this is an independent hostel, which means the land this waterfall on is technically private, but I don't think it's going to be a big issue because the path I've just walked, as you can see, it's quite defined from the road through this woodland, and just behind you we've got this gap in the fence. It's just inviting me to climb over, so fingers crossed I'm going to be okay photographing this waterfall. This is a beautiful location with a bridge and a waterfall at the background, but I'm struggling with a composition because I've got this tree here and I really can't find an angle that I can fit in the bridge and the waterfall and removing the tree. If we were going to go at an angle like this, it would look odd with the bridge just coming to a stop at the corner of the frame. So I've deliberately included the tree in this, just let it come into the corner of the frame and just sort of show really that tree's there. I think it'll look better doing it that way than just cutting it off and leaving half of the bridge. Very basic settings for this is the light's quite low. I've just got a polarizer on the front. I'm just trying to stretch out the water a little bit just to separate it from the scene. Road closures in the Lake District today are so frustrating. I think I'm up to 3 now that I've had to divert around, but I've managed to get to another waterfall, and I'm very thankful that this one is at the side of the road. The waterfall and park next to it at the moment is called Moss Force, and I think I've photographed this one twice before. And for some reason it always rains when I come here, which is really annoying, and today is certainly no exception. This image I'm going to attempt to take of this waterfall is going to be exceptionally difficult, because at the moment I haven't fine-tuned my composition because I haven't got out into the elements yet, and I'm going to have to time this perfectly when I remove the lens cover off my camera to take this shot. I'm not going to be able to use a tripod, and I'm certainly not going to be use any filters here, but looking at the rain as it's blowing across the mountain here could be the makings for a really nice image. The guy in the back of the camera is really looking blown out. Hopefully I can pull that back in post-production, and I am getting absolutely drenched. Woo! So after spending most of this morning running around the northern Lake District area getting very wet, after grabbing some food at lunchtime and having a bit of an extended break, I've decided now to come to the southern end of the Lake District and find a little bit of shelter so I can stretch my legs. I've been in the car for much of today. So what I've done, I've come down to Stanley Gill Force, which is a waterfall I've photographed twice, and it's a bit of a jinx, this waterfall, because something always goes wrong when I visit here. The first time I came, I lost my drone into the stream. The second time I came, I lost a tripod off the side of the cliff that went down into the waterfall. This time things have already started to go wrong. As soon as I parked at the car park further down there, I was met with a sign telling me that the lower area of the waterfall is closed. The access path, apparently the rocks at the side have become unstable, so they've had to close it. There is apparently an upper viewing area which I've never seen before, so I'll have a look, see if I can find that. On my 2 previous visits to this location, this woodland has always distracted me, and today it's certainly done that once more, but in a very different way. As I'm visiting in the depths of winter, there's no real tree canopy, all the leaves are off the trees, and the focus is down on the floor, and these beautiful vibrant rocks covered in moss around the side. I think I've previously described this location as somewhere that feels like a little bit of a fantasy. I don't know if there was something in the lunch I ate earlier, but I'm starting to see shapes in these rocks. Have a look at this one here and tell me you can't see a rabbit. So I've made it as far as I can down this gorge now. As you can see, very obviously by this sign, there's no continuing down the path here. That bridge does look a bit ropey, I must admit, at the moment, with all the construction bits around it, and going further down towards the waterfall. At the end there, we can see where that sort of land has just crumbled down the side of the gorge there, making it very unsafe. I can see why they've closed it. There's no chance I'm going to even try and get down there. But the waterfall's looking glorious down there regardless. Just looking around the side of me here, this path continues up here around this area and right to the top here. Let me zoom in. It's quite a height. You can see that viewing platform up there. I wasn't going to bother hiking up there because I don't think there's a photo to be had, but I think the view is going to look quite good from up there, so I'm going to give it a go, I think. You know, as I was walking up this hill after spotting this viewing point, I didn't think that the view up here was going to be that good. I felt that the waterfall would probably look really small. It appears I was seriously mistaken. Have a look at that. That is absolutely epic. Could not get that view from down the bottom. As you can see from the top, it's a 3-tier waterfall. Never saw that previously to the bottom. And look at the other way. Look at this view. Well, you could do, if it wasn't so cloudy, going off into the lakes. Really does give you a feeling of scale when you stand up here. If you just look down here, let me zoom in a little bit, and there's a bridge I was just standing on all the way down there. Absolutely epic. Today was a very early start, and as I stand on this amazing viewing platform, I'm starting to lose light. I've got about an hour before sunset. Clearly there's not going to be any colour this evening, so I'm going to sign off. And thank you very kindly for watching this rather wet video. It's been a very, very long day. Please do consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed. It's highly likely because I've only got about 55 subscribers at the moment, and hopefully I will see you again. Goodbye.